You don't owe me anything. You don't owe me anything, anything at all. I'd have given to you. And I don't owe you anything. I don't owe you anything, everything
Hi and welcome to our coverage of the 2005 Spa and Pool Factory Offshore Powerboat Series. Race 1, raced on the beautiful conditions of Lake Taupo. It is the Suncourt Motor Hotel race, and a race for every class. To explain it more, let's talk with Wayne Carson.
There's effectively 3 races within the one event. So we have a 30 mile, 60 mile and 100 mile race length. 30 mile is the family class, so that's open to smaller boats, family ski boats, just anything you have really. 60 mile class, that's what we term sports class. We have Formula Honda, which is a 150 horsepower class. It's a one single make, single model class. We have Sports C, which is ski boats up to 200 horsepower. And then Sports B, which is ski boats up to 225 horsepower. So that's the 60 mile event. In the 100 mile, we start with a class called National Sports, which is typically a single engined mono-hull type boats. There's one here today, a boat called Aland, very unique design. The next class above that today is a international class called UAM 6 litre, Class 3 6 litre. We have 4 boats racing that today. And then National Open, which is the top class in New Zealand, where we have the 3 V8 powered boats running today.
Yeah. Hi, Malcolm. How are you?
One of the great things about the Spa and Pool Factory New Zealand Offshore Powerboat Championship is before the boats hit the water, they are on display for the public. It's a chance for you to have a good look at them, and it's a chance for the mechanics to do some fine fettling.
All we're doing is just adjusting the engine heights of the motor. It just needs to be a little bit lower in the water. We're running out of water pressure, so we're just altering the height of the water pickups, which are here, just in relation to the bottom of the boat. Just making sure it's got enough water pressure when it turns.
The old plate as with the learners for the sport, so a bit of fun. Hope everyone else can see the funny side of it.
Driving DMZ Global for the first time was the man that was registered as the fastest on the water in a Grand Prix hydroplane, and that is Mike Southwood.
I'd like it to pick up about another 20 or 30 knots. All the boats we've got running here are going to be very similar speed. All the 6 litre boats are running around the same speed, and if it's a rough day, it's going to turn into a driver's race as much as anything. This boat here is a few years old. The skater behind us is one of the latest boats out of America, and it turns like it's on rails. It has a top speed of about 106 miles an hour in good conditions. We're almost 100 miles an hour, 157 k's, so top speed is similar, but we can't get around the corners like they can. The SciTech boat, which is over my right shoulder, is running 2 280 horsepower Mercuries, and we're running 2 brand new 300 horsepower Mercuries. The difference between the boat is this is an older boat and it's a little bit heavier. It's 2,200 kilos. The SciTech boat is about 1,800 kilos. But we're hoping the horsepower will give us an advantage, and especially if it gets a bit rougher.
That's all going well? Yeah, going fine, mate. Good on you, man.
Just getting a feel for how it handles in the different conditions. It's obviously a little bit quicker, but a little bit lighter than the one we ran last year, so it'll be a little bit more of a handful if it's rough. Yeah, I think we've all got our preferred waters. I think the big one will certainly fly well in the rougher conditions. We would prefer it a little bit flatter, but I think overall we'll all even out. It should be a good year.
Another team having a drive for the first time in a new boat was the team from FMI Racing.
We'll just be keen to get the first race under our belt and try and get home safely. New boat, first time out there. Just looking forward to trying to get a finish. We're very even. We've got 4 boats that, and the whole 4 of them could win today. So there's some differences in the boats, but all the power is very similar. So our boat's probably the biggest of the boats. So ideally, we would be suited in slightly rougher conditions. Some of the smaller boats are going to be slightly faster. But we're wider, so maybe we might be able to get a slightly better speed round the corners. But hey. it's all a bit of a game until we get out there and start racing.
We're hoping that the wind's going to come up a bit more today for us. Definitely our boat likes the rougher conditions rather than the calmer conditions, so boys have done a bloody good effort to get the boat ready for the season. We've got some new competition. We've got Peter Turner and Sleepyhead today, and of course we've got Richard Shaw's and Placemakers that have had an excellent season last season, and no DNFs last season, and we were definitely chasing their tail throughout the season last year, but pretty confident we'll be running alongside them this season to contest their position.
Looking for championship number 5 was the team from Placemakers.
Obviously today it's with new boats, until you're actually out on the racetrack it's hard to work out. A lot of talk about how quick they'll go, but yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see at the end of today. So.
I think it's going to be much the same as it is now, just a very small chop. Probably not enough to really worry anyone in terms of slowing them down. I think it'll just be one of those days it'll be flat out from the drop of the flag to the end, I think.
Having its introduction at round 1 of the Spar and Pull Factory Offshore Powerboats, Formula Honda.
It's attracting a lot of new competitors into offshore powerboat racing for the first time. The boat's set up as a family water ski boat that you can race rather than a race boat that you can ski behind. They're doing around about 65 mile an hour, or about 130 kilometres an hour, which is exciting on water. Great fun class. We're also getting a lot of interest from touring car drivers, motorsport, rallying, karting, competitors from other codes who are excited about the whole concept of owning a family boat they can water ski with and go racing. And of course that 5-year warranty and that great engine's just stunning.
Well, Formula Honda's sort of got its roots in England, where it's a huge class in England and it's one of the biggest classes of its type in the world. And a couple of years ago we've thought about trying to bring in a one design class into New Zealand. And about 12 months ago I sort of got hold of Honda and sort of worked on getting this class up and running. It's got a lot of benefits. It gets back to grassroots racing. It's not checkbooks, you bid for propellers on the day, the engines are sealed, the engine height's the same. So it gets down to the driver and the crewman getting the best out of the boat. You've got trim and you've got ballast, and that's it.
Another highlight of the new season was the return of Richard Turner in Sleepyhead. Partnering him, Peter McGrath.
Well, it's been a very time-consuming task, and like anything, like project like that, it always takes longer than anticipated. We were supposed to be in the water maybe a month ago. We launched 2 days ago, so the boat is not completely race prepared. But we're going to go out there today and just try and finish and learn a few things about the boat. There's a lot of information coming back to us with testing and so forth. Propellers have been a big issue for us, and we'll sort that out in the next couple of weeks, hopefully.
Well, we're just about set for a start in the 100-mile race. You see the team from FMI Racing just getting ready, and there's some of the national class and sport boats ready to go as well. Really 2 races within one. For the top runners it's 100 miles, for the others it is 60. They get the flag, we're just about set for a start, and they will line up and get set to go. Pretty good conditions here at Taupo for round 1 of the Spar and Pull Factory New Zealand Offshore Powerboating. And away they go, and I would expect Placemakers to go into the lead with Richard Shaw's and Wayne Carson. But watch too for Peter Turner and Peter McGrath in the new Sleepyhead boat. And the reason they're there, they don't want Richard Shaw's and Wayne Carson to win 5. No one in the powerboating history has won 5, but Shaw's and Carson have got a fantastic start. That's why Peter Turner came back to the sport. He wants to be the first to win 5. Graham Horn and Richard Shaw's have all won 4. So too has Peter Turner, but he's back with the man that helped him all those years ago, and that is Peter McGrath. Now, Peter McGrath has made a name for himself on the worldwide stage in the World Championship with the Victory team and also with the Marimoto team, which is where he'll be going back to race over the European season. But for the moment, it is Placemakers out in the front. Peter Turner and McGrath in second place as we look at them. And in third, it looks like Supercat, driven by Perry Morris, as they go around the first mark. So that's the top 3 in the 100-mile race. Further back, of course, races within races. In the 60-mile race, it will be the National Sports Boat and the Class B and C. But there is the Placemakers boat of the champions over the last 3 years straight here at Taupo and in the national title. That is Richard Shaw's and Wayne Carson. Close to the shore as they come through. This is the Class C boat of of Joanne Lomax. This is Broomstick. It's a Cyclone RX 1950 powered by a Mercury Optimex engine. As we go back to the front of the field and the Placemakers boat, hitting close to 100 miles an hour on the long straights here on the lake, and doing it in style. And if you've ever wondered what it looks like to hit that sort of speed on water, here is our onboard shot looking out the front of the boat. Wayne Carson and Richard Shaw's in command of this one. There is second place. This is Peter Turner and Peter McGrath from Howick. Goes by the nickname of Mudguard from his panel beating days. But since then, he has strode the world stage like a colossus. In fact, lots of offers for Peter to go back and work for the Dubai-based teams. That's the sort of impact he's made on the World Championship scene. FMI Racing goes through. Brilliant colours on the boat, easily distinguished from our helicopter shots there. Of course, the helicopter is there for safety. Should any of the boats have problems, there's a paramedic ready to dive into the water and rush to the aid of the driver or navigator. This is Alien, a boat that was causing some interest, and this is another brand new boat here once again. This is Dean Veal, the Oka Manifelt B23 design craft, and it comes from Europe, and it can hit speeds of around about 80 miles an hour, and it doesn't really mind too much about the conditions, so I think that they would be leading the National A class, but we'll check on that for you. Just another example of the many classes on the water, and you can see the chop starting to get up a little bit now as we go back to Supercat. Perry Morris at the helm. They're currently sitting in third place. And from our on-water camera, you can see that the water just starting to chop just a little on this multi-lap course. A 100-mile race and a 60-mile race for the national class boats. Out in the front, though, it is still Placemakers. There is Sleepyhead, currently sitting in second place. Peter Turner and Peter McGrath, a brand new boat this season to chase down Placemakers and try and be the first one to get to 5 national championships. And look at the speed difference. They just round them up and run them down. Sleepyhead, great to have Peter Turner back in offshore powerboating. And how close do you want it in the minor classes? Side-by-side racing here. Well, this is Bitter and Twisted. This is Glenn and Abby Powell in their National Sports Class Sonic. It's a 19-foot boat capable of around about 85 miles an hour. But we're on board with the second of our onboard cameras. This is FMI Racing, the 3 and 6 litre class boat, 32-foot Douglas Skater hull, 2.5 electronic fuel injection Mercury, powering Scott and Warren Lewis along at around about 100 miles an hour. Let's talk about the classes involved here. Overall championship class, of course, last year it was won by Placemakers, and that's the boat that's leading the race at the moment. We've also got the National Open class, the UIM 3 or 6 litre class, and the 3 and 6 litre production class. Add in the National Sports and the Class B, and we've also got the introduction this year of the Honda class. So there's plenty of boats to choose from, and this is a slowing Supercat, so maybe some problems there. No problems at all, though, for the Placemakers boat. It just trundles on its winning way. Richard Shaw's and Wayne Carson, we're back on board with them here. And as I said before, this boat well capable of over 100 miles an hour. It's a Douglas Skater design, 32-foot twin 650 horsepower Rodeck Buicks. So they've gone the different way. The National Open boat is the class. And look at the way they line up the FMI Racing boat and just rocket by. The champions for the last 3 years here at Taupo, and the defending national champions, but maybe they haven't got it all their own way this time round. There is FMI Racing, and we're on board with them once again. They're currently sitting in fourth place. Ahead of them at Cytec, Sleepyhead and Placemakers. This is the Grant Smith owned DMZ Global out of Wellington. This boat in the UIM 6 litre class, it's a Robson Cat, 29 feet of boat, capable of speeds around about 105 miles an hour. 2 big Mercuries on the back, producing something like 560 horsepower. Here's a chance to have a look at one of the new Formula Honda boats, and this is Konica Minolta, and Greg Brink is the pilot, ex-motocross champion of New Zealand, ex-car racer, and now doing a bit of part-time commentary work for television as well. So Brinky at the wheel of the new Honda, and this boat is set to revolutionise offshore powerboating in New Zealand. It's all about getting in some mass participation, and that's what they hope will happen with the Hondas. They're 19-foot Sonic boats, they run the same engine, and all they do is they change the propeller. Back to the 100-mile race, and this This is Sleepyhead, Peter Turner and Peter McGrath, and they are still a distant second to the defending champions, and that is Placemakers. Once again, you'll get a graphic example of the speed difference between the various class. Total Oil's one of the boats that featured in the championship last year, and that is Bill Thompson at the controls. This is SciTech. This is Grant Smith's other boat. It's a skater hull, 28 feet long, capable of 100 miles an hour, and you're on board watching Grant Smith at the driving controls. So they are currently in third place. This is Alien going through to come through in 6th overall, Dean Veal, but the winner is going to be Placemakers once again. They've just been too good for Sleepyhead in this, the first round of the 2005 Spar and Pool Factory Championship. There is DMZ Global, so they've had major problems. Mike Southwood's debut in offshore powerboating hasn't been a good one, and the boat owner, Grant Smith, won't be too happy with that. So that is the situation on the water here at Taupo. After round number 1, it is Placemakers, starting where they left off. Sleepyhead, the boat on your screen, will go through and finish a distant second, and in third place it will be SciTech. Behind SciTech it was FMI Racing with Warren Lewis, and in 5th place it was Supercat with Perry Morris. There is the race leader heading down toward the checkered flag, and Richard Shawes and Wayne Carson get the season off to a fantastic start. They win the Suncourt Motel round 1 here of the National Offshore Powerboat Championships. We go to Maraetai in Auckland for round 2.
Oh, we got off to a good start and basically ran our own race, to be honest. We managed to get out in front and obviously kept an eye on the other guys behind us and just ran our own race and came through. Didn't have any problems, so it was good.
Heck of a lot of traffic on the course, but that was all part of the fun. It was varied conditions. Head into the wind was a little better for us than running against it, but no, it was good, nice, relatively comfortable day.
Well, we went out with the vision of just finishing, and I guess that's what we did. Congratulations to Richard and his Placemakers team. Always going to be tough, and we've come in on the circuit with a new boat and new technology. We've obviously realised even before the race, and especially after the race, we've got a long way to go to be competitive. So that's a lot of work to do.
Well, we were a bit slow off the start, and certainly DMZ's got some good boat speed, and as it ended up today, we probably didn't have enough rough water. It was pretty calm, and the lighter boats just were pretty quick. So to get a second on our first race, we're particularly happy with that. But the slightly smaller 28-foot SciTech boat, well, that's very, very quick in conditions like today, and we just had nothing left to catch up with them. But hey, first day out there, finished the race, got a second in our class. We're very, very happy with that.
Placemakers and Sleepyhead, who are in front of us, basically just got away in the first couple of laps, and we tried to stay with them, but as I said, it was my first day out there. We're taking it easy, just getting used to the boat. We pretty much stayed with them then for the rest of the race, just half a lap behind, and ended up having a good run. We were getting 101 mile an hour down the front straight here in front of the crowd, which was good. Came in first overall in our class and third in the race, so it was a good day out.
Yeah, we had a good day. We proved we had the fastest boat out there, and the boys drove an exceptionally good race and basically outdrove everybody else. But unfortunately, one of the other competitors found it in his wisdom to protest against it for something very, very minor, citing the fact that there's a big championship at stake. Hey, that's racing. We did it wrong, but seems pretty petty to me.
Well, we learn a lot. It's amazing, you know, you think you know it all from racing, but this is a whole new league, and it was tough, you know, it was really tough. The boats are so close in speed, and we had our own little dramas out there, you know, as everyone does. But my son Danny joined me for the race, and it was new for him as well, and we were wrapped to come out with a win.
Oh, it was pretty good out there today. It was interesting water. It wasn't flat calm. There was some big bumps in it for the little boats, and lots of corners for the big boats. So we took off, got a fairly good start, and went right around and had a few oopsies and up in the air and around and drove pretty hard. And Bevan, my normal skier that skis behind the boat, he was in it for the first time, so he said it's the most fun he's had in a boat. And it was really good. It's a great turnout. Really good sponsors here this weekend, lots of fun. Drove as hard as I could, and I think we did fairly well. I don't know the official results yet, but quietly confident that we might have got a placing.
Oh, you got a class win.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I've just learnt that, so that's good. That's the best